51. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. In Bible times, when they gave name, when parents gave their child a name, those names were given because of the meaning of the name. Not just because it sounded pretty or it was the cool name of that time, but because of what the name meant. And the name Manasseh literally means, God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. What was Joseph saying? Joseph was saying, my brothers betrayed me. Potiphar's wife falsely accused me. I ended up in prison. The prisoner who got out before I did had promised to say a good word to Pharaoh on my behalf. He forgot to do that, so I stayed longer in prison. Everything has gone wrong against me. And yet, by this time in the story, why did Joseph name his son Manasseh? Because Joseph was saying, even though I have been deeply hurt in the past, God, in the process of time, has healed those emotional wounds. What was Joseph saying? Joseph was saying, I am healed emotionally. You know, I think about that. I think about what people in this service today and some listening, wherever you might be today, and what you might have been through in the past. Injustice, accusation, betrayal, whatever it might have been through. And whatever you might have been through. And you just think, man, that has just been such a heavy weight for me to carry. And yet, the same thing can happen to you that happened to Joseph. God can heal that emotional wound. And God can turn that wound into a scar. And that's what Joseph was saying. Joseph was saying, God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. You say, John, do you think it's possible to get to a place where you literally forget what happened? No. But you say, well, Joseph said that he had forgotten what had happened. Well, he hadn't really literally forgotten what happened. He's still talking about what happened. He said, God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. He had not forgotten it intellectually. He could remember what had happened, but here's how healed Joseph was at this point. When he thought about the painful experiences of the past, those painful experiences no longer caused him any pain. He could think about it. That's how you know you're emotionally healed. Not that you have had some amnesia and you can't remember what happened. No, you remember. But in your memories now, you say, you know what? Those memories don't hurt anymore. That wound is not an open, raw wound. I can talk about that. I can think about that. And it doesn't hurt anymore. The wound has healed, and the wound has become a scar. What is a scar? A scar is a wound that is healed. Many years ago, on Thanksgiving weekend, I was trying to put out, I don't put out much for Christmas, but I put a few things out around my house, and I was putting something out, and I'd gotten a pair of scissors to cut something, and instead of cutting what I was trying to cut, I cut my index finger, and blood just started going everywhere. I lost 20 or 30 gallons of blood just like that. I could see a white light. I thought, when's my time? No, it wasn't that much, but it was enough that I had to drive down to the emergency room and have them sew it up. And for the next several weeks, anytime my thumb, and you know, during the course of the day, this just happened. Anytime my thumb would touch that wound, I mean, it hurt really bad. That was in November of 2005. That's been over 19 years ago. But you know, today I look at my finger and I can still see the little scar. But you know, I touch that scar, and that scar doesn't hurt me at all. Why? Because the wound has healed. The open wound has turned into a scar. And a scar doesn't hurt. And that's what Joseph was saying. Joseph was saying, there were some times down here in Egypt when I had an open wound, all the things that had happened to me. And it's just the most amazing thing that God has done. Because God has done such a work in me that the wound, what people have done to me, the wrongs I went through, all of that has been healed. I can still remember what happened, but there's no pain there anymore. The wound has healed, and the wound has become a scar. I have scars on my stomach from where I had a malignant tumor on my left kidney removed in 2015. And every morning, including this morning, when I look in the mirror as I'm getting ready, I can see those scars across my stomach. But you know what? Those scars don't hurt. Those scars don't cause any pain. In fact, those scars are good for me because those scars are a reminder to me of the goodness of God and how He led me to a good surgeon who was able to remove that tumor. And without those scars, I wouldn't probably be here today. I would have died. What are those scars? They're a reminder of a wound that is healed. They're a reminder of a cancer that was removed. And they're a reminder that God has done a work in my body. But just like God heals human bodies, friend, God heals human minds. God heals human emotions. And no matter what somebody's done against you, or what somebody did to you, or what you did to yourself, in time, God can turn those wounds into scars and heal you up. Now, look